Let's talk about this season finale with Damond, Goddess, and Bonita. So we see Goddess and she tries to go see Damond, but she's unable to because it's only family visit day. And so she's outside talking to him in the pouring rain, telling him, okay, I can't come inside. And since you're going to be out in a few weeks, I think I'm just going to wait till you get out before I come visit you again. And Damond's upset because he's like, as my girl, you should be up here every day, every other day. Here he is lying to Bonita and missing out on his visits with Bonita because he's trying to get Goddess to come see him instead, and Goddess don't even want to come see him like that. I can understand. It depends on how far of a drive it is to the prison. Like, if he lives, like, right around the corner or, like, within 10, 20 minutes, then I kind of see what he's saying. But if it's the case where it's like an hour plus drive for her to drive to the prison, then I don't think it's worth it. I would just be like, okay, babe, it's costing me a lot of time and money every time I have to go up there and see you. Let me just save that money and we can just go out and really enjoy the money that I saved once we get out. We can go on a nice date or something instead. And Damond was telling the producers in a confessional, he's like, yeah, I'm just ready to get out and be fed grapes. Like, he really thinks he's going to have Bonita on one side rubbing his back, feeding him grapes, and he thinks Goddess is going to be on the other side feeding him strawberries. And I mean, that's kind of what it was giving when he was in the car with both of them riding around. They're all rubbing all on him just like he wanted. But I'm like, man, is this fool really serious? Like, he really thinks that they're just going to be one big happy family. But I think if he keeps on with the BS, they're going to end up on an episode of Snapped. And a lot of people were talking about Gigi's nails in this last episode, saying, oh my gosh, she must be a lesbian, because I guess her middle finger and her pointer finger on her nails were shorter than the rest of her nails. And I guess she's a braider, so I guess braiders specifically do their nails like that because of a way that they have to part hair when they braid it, which that's something I didn't know. You learn so many new things from this show. But then we see Bonita, and she's sitting there on the couch, and she's starting to get suspicious that Damond hasn't been fully honest with her. And right when she's sitting there looking on the internet, she gets a call from Damond, and he's like, hey, I'm going to be getting out soon. My parole officer has to come to the house that I'm going to be paroling to. And I made the decision that I'm going to be paroling to my mother's house. And Bonita's like, what? And I don't blame her for being upset, because if we're engaged, we have kids together. You haven't been a father all this time while you've been in prison. Well, you may have been tried your best to, but I mean, you haven't been there with them every single day like she has. You think he would want to be out and make up for as much time as possible and want to be in the household helping out with all that responsibility. Bonita responded like I expected her to. She's like, well, what are we really doing? If you're going to get out and you're going to live with your mom, then what are we doing? Like, what's the point of us even being together? And he was gaslighting the hell out of her. He's like, look, it's not Bonita's world, it's Moo Moo's world. I would have hung up on his ass after he said that, but Bonita was like, man, I just don't get it. I've waited all this time for you. And he's like, yeah, you waited all this time and we're going to get married. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So why are you in this big rush when we still have the rest of our lives together? And Bonita just isn't feeling it at all. And now she's wondering if there is another woman. And the thing is, I'm so annoyed because they kept showing that clip all season of Damond on the phone telling Goddess, oh, there's something I need to tell you. And in reality, it was just him saying, oh yeah, I think I got a little bit more time than I thought, instead of it being, oh hey, there's another woman. Because I know I'm not the only one who thought all season that he was gonna tell Goddess or Bonita about each other. Like, I would give their storyline maybe a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 4 out of 10. There's worse storylines this season. So maybe a 5 out of 10. But it just wasn't given everything that I was wanting to give this season. I feel like if we didn't have Bonita, they would have been a lot more boring just between Damond and Goddess. Bonita comes in and spices things up, and they will be returning for the next season of Love After Lockup. So Damond is still currently engaged to Bonita, and Damond is still dating Goddess, and they're going to be getting out, and I am very curious to see who's going to be there waiting for him once he does get released. And for the other cast members who'll be coming back, we have Felicia and Rich. They weren't on the season finale. We just saw that Rich in the episode before this one kind of went off on Felicia after she told him that she doesn't want him hanging out with her friend like that and smoking with her friend. And I mean, I don't blame her for feeling that type of way. Like, you should not be hanging out with my friend outside of like when they had that little meetup for the show unless I'm there with you. And Kaylee and Michael will be returning, which I don't know, I just didn't feel like they gave us a lot this season. I mean, I do appreciate the fight between the moms, that was spicy, but besides that, I don't know, there wasn't really anything notable besides her maxing his credit cards out. And that's, I guess I am excited to see how he reacts once he finds that out. But I guess he ends up getting out. Let's just go ahead and talk about Kaylee and Michael real quick, since there really wasn't a lot with them in the season finale. I guess she made the long-ass drive to the prison to pick him up, and she thought she was going to pick him up, they'd be able to have fun and enjoy themselves. But instead, he learned at the very last minute, after she had already drove out there, that he was not allowed to drive to the halfway house with her, and he was going to have to take a cab to the halfway house and go straight to the halfway house. And Kaylee's just devastated. She probably shaved her coochie and her booty hole and everything, kind of like how Chaz did that day. That just is, that list rent free in my head, like when Chaz went to go hang out with Branwen and he's like, I shaved my booty hole for this and I didn't even get none. Well, she went all the way out there and did all this stuff and then learned she came and hang out with him like that. But she did come up with a clever plan. She decided, okay, I'm just gonna follow that cab all the way to the halfway house, and once it pulls up, I'm gonna see if I can get at least a minute or two to give you a nice little hug and kiss. And she sped and followed the cab, and they were able to do exactly that. He got out, he was able to kiss her and hug her. They looked really happy, and I guess he gets hygiene passes once every few weeks where he can go to Walmart, to the store, to get some hygiene products. And Kaylee drove up there and picked him up, took him on his hygiene run, and they're inside Walmart walking around, and you can tell this man is dying for some kitty cat because he could not keep his hands to himself. He's literally grinding on her, literally pushing the cart with her in Walmart as he's all like all pushed up against her booty the whole time in Walmart, because that's the most action he's probably got in a hot minute. I remember my days when I had to go to a halfway house like 7 years ago, and I was like a cat in heat up in there going crazy. And I'm sure that's exactly how Michael and Kaylee feel, and I'm sure they're ready to get it on. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull over and decide to do it in the back of the Walmart parking lot before she took him back home. But that's pretty much it, guys. So they will be returning. Felicia and Rich will be returning, and Gigi, Damond, and Bonita will be returning. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about the couples that will be returning? I do know Hunter, who was with Kaylee and what was the other girl? Kate. He's supposed to be on a season of Love After Lockup. He's supposed to be getting released in March or April. But with him just now getting released, typically they film the seasons like 6 to 12 months in advance. So I'm predicting that he probably won't be on this next season, but he'll probably be on the next season of Love After Lockup, probably like a year from now. But who knows? Maybe they might edit it real fast and he might be on the next season. I don't know, but that'll definitely be interesting to see once he does come back. What do you guys think about the couples they chose? What couples would you have picked, or what couples are you the most excited to see? I'm most excited to see Gigi, Bonita, and Goddess, because I have got to see what happens with this love triangle and what the hell is going on with this damn storage unit. But you guys let me know what you think about everything in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.